Hey everyone, Hourology Fanatic here, and today I wanted to review my Spinnaker Patrick Cahill Patrick O'Clock watch. Now, I had this watch for about 2-3 weeks now, and I just got around to reviewing it now because I decided that, usually in my opinion, at least 1 week to properly review a watch, and after 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks of owning it, I think it's about time I give it a review. So, let's just get over to the dimensions real quick. The case is 43 millimeters in diameter. The thickness is 15. Yeah, it's a bit of a thick watch. The lug to lug is 50 millimeters. A little bit of a big watch. The between the lugs is 22 millimeters, and the weight is 120 grams. Now, it is a big, chunky watch, in all honesty. I mean, look at the sides. You can just see that it's a big, hefty watch. There's a bit of mess and a couple scratches on the case because I haven't worn it consistently for a couple weeks, but it is a decent watch. I mean, one of the cool things too is the, of course, the handset, the sapphire bezel. Turn it around. It is a bit of a super stiff bezel. Well, not too stiff, but it's definitely stiff. It's hard to turn sometimes. I tried turning this on my opposite hand and it's not as easy. The best part, obviously, has to do with the dial. I mean, you got Patrick Star in the middle of the dial with the minute and hour hand as his hands. You got a circular date, which I think is pretty cool. And it has the SpongeBob font, which I also think is pretty cool. Let's talk about the finishing of the case. Now, the finishing is all right. You see, you can look at the curved lugs. You can see a little beveling here. You can see the signed crown. Signed crown is pretty good. With the Spinnaker logo. Let me see if I can turn it around. The Spinnaker logo, my bad. I'm surprised that more expensive brands like Seiko aren't even doing signed crowns anymore. I mean, a Spinnaker can do this, and they're just a micro brand, really, from China, Hong Kong specifically, and they're doing signed crowns. And Seiko is kind of messing up, but then again, Seiko is Seiko. It looks like they're carrying their name to as an excuse to use lesser resources and lesser techniques, such as not having signed crowns on their watches. But that's a different story. We're talking about Spinnaker, not Seiko. Anyways, one of the cool things about this watch, too, is the movement. It does house an NH36 or NH35, but as you can see, the rotor is customized. And it's customized with the gang, SpongeBob & Co. You got Squidward over here to the left, Patrick Star to the middle left, SpongeBob to the middle right, and Mr. Krabs at the right. Let me see if I can get a closer look up. There you go. And as you can see, my specific watch is limited edition to 16 out of 300. This watch did only had about 300 releases by Spinnaker. I remember I actually got this watch around 3 a.m. 3:25 a.m. is when I got it. I woke up early in the morning just to get this one because I really did like the design. And it's a cool Seiko movement with the customized rotor. Now, some people may have complaints with that movement, saying it's not accurate or this or that. Personally, I don't have an issue with it because I had plenty of watches with this movement and I haven't had one issue with it. Looking at the strap. The strap is bright yellow with a pink side holder. One yellow, one pink, and a bunch of holes. I'm guessing mimicking SpongeBob's skin. The strap itself is all right. It's not too comfortable, but it's not too stiff. It's just okay for what you're getting. It's not spectacular, but you can't complain too much. It does have a signed buckle with the Spinnaker logo. And it's just all right. It's not a big deal. The dial. So looking at the dial, we do have a blue dial with what appears to be waves mimicking the ocean. It's a decent dial. The font on Spinnaker is black, the font on automatic is red, and it does all have the SpongeBob font. The second hand is completely white, as you can see, and the entire dial is actually luminous. Now, I can't really show you without turning off the lights. I can't really do that because then I would have to get up and turn up the lights. But the entire dial is luminous, which is pretty cool too. Let's talk about the fit. So let's put this watch on my wrist real quick. Now, I have an 8-inch wrist for reference. There we go. I have it at the third hole, so that means you could probably fit this watch on a lot bigger than my wrist. The fit is all right. Surprisingly, it's not that uncomfortable like you would think it is, but it's actually pretty comfortable. The weight is also only 120 grams, which is not that heavy. Although if you did put this on a bracelet, I could probably see it jumping to 160 or 70. Let's take this off now. So, final opinions on this watch. I think I give it an 8 out of 10. Now, it is a gimmicky watch, you know, referencing SpongeBob and Co., but I did always love that series growing up as a kid. I remember being obsessed with that series since I was like 3, 4 years old, and anything involving them really. And now, years later, you know, as an adult at 21, I still find myself loving that series, and the watch is just a perfect example of it. Now, if there was ways I can improve this watch, I'd probably make it thinner. 15 millimeters is a bit chunky. I make the lug to lug a little bit shorter. Instead of 50, I make it 48. And the size, 43 millimeters is a bit big. I would probably make it a 41 or even a 40. But that's really about it. They're just minor complaints. I mean, you're paying mostly for the novelty and gimmick of the watch. And that's really about it. So my opinion, 8 out of 10 I think is reasonable. It's a great watch. It's fun to wear. It's sporty, it's novelty, and it's probably one of the funnest watches in my collection, if I have to be honest. But anyways, that's it for this review, guys. See you in the next one. Thank you.